There is a mystery that the mind resists at first, yet the heart knows to be true. The outer world is but a mirror of the inner state. When you look upon your circumstances, you are gazing into a reflection of your habitual thoughts and beliefs. Poverty is not an external accident. It is the shadow of inner fear impressed upon the subconscious. Illness is not always a punishment from without. It is often the body obeying an inward command of tension, resentment, or despair. And so too, success is not merely the reward of toil, but the flowering of faith and expectancy planted in silence. For 3 days you are not merely repeating words, you are reconfiguring the mirror itself. Every time you declare, "I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts," you are painting a new reflection on the canvas of your subconscious, and the mirror of life must respond. This law has no exceptions, no favoritism, no delays. As within, so without. What is impressed must be expressed. When you begin to grasp this truth, you also understand why so many live lives of quiet frustration. They toil outwardly, striving to manipulate conditions, to bend people, to control circumstances, all the while leaving untouched the very root of their experience. They polish the mirror, but forget to change the image reflected in it. For 3 days, you have chosen a different path. You have chosen to address the root, to alter the hidden image, to give your subconscious a new blueprint. And once the blueprint changes, the outer edifice must follow. It is like an architect altering the plan of a house. The builders cannot help but follow the new design. Your subconscious is the builder, tireless and obedient, shaping the structure of your days from the plans you impress upon it. Give it words of harmony, wealth and wisdom, and it will build accordingly. Do not underestimate the power of imagination in this process. When you speak your affirmation, let your mind construct pictures to match the words. See yourself standing before a door that has always been locked. Watch as it swings open effortlessly at your approach. Step through in your mind. Feel the cool air of freedom on your face, the exhilaration of possibility unfolding. See yourself seated in rooms of opportunity, welcomed by faces once closed, guided into paths once hidden. Your subconscious accepts these images as commands, and it sets in motion currents you cannot trace, weaving circumstances and encounters that align with the vision. For 3 days, feed it pictures of doors opening, and it will begin to open them in your waking life. There is a reason that Scripture places such weight on the power of the tongue. Words are not empty. They are containers of belief, vehicles of vibration, carriers of power. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, it is written, and those who love it shall eat its fruit. Consider then what fruit you have eaten from careless words, and consider what new harvest you will reap from words deliberately chosen. When you say, "I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts," you are choosing life, you are choosing abundance, you are choosing confidence, and the fruit of that choice will appear in due season, for the law is unbreakable. Sow and reap, impress and express. Many will scoff, saying, "Surely life is not changed by words." But these same skeptics live bound by the words they have spoken for years. They declare daily, "I am unlucky, I am tired, I am broke," and their subconscious, faithful and uncritical, manifests these decrees without fail. If words of weakness have such power to bind, how much greater the power of words of truth to liberate. For 3 days, you are conducting a sacred experiment in reversal. You are testing the divine law with your own life as the canvas. And I tell you, if you persist, you will see evidence. The inner critic may rise and laugh, but do not listen. Return to your words. Anchor yourself again, for faith is not tested in the absence of doubt, but in its presence. Every time you choose to affirm rather than despair, you are winning a battle unseen, and soon its victory will shine in the visible. You will also discover that these words begin to reshape not only your circumstances, but your character. For what you affirm, you become. Say daily, "I am one with wealth and wisdom," and soon you notice yourself walking with more assurance, speaking with more clarity, making decisions with greater discernment. The subconscious does not stop at rearranging your environment. It reshapes your identity to match the decree. You become the vessel of the words you carry. And so what began as a simple exercise of 3 days becomes the seed of lifelong transformation. For if you can alter the course of your life in 3 days, what might you do in 30, in 300? The habit of speaking truth into your subconscious is the habit of kings and sages, and it will not fail you. But beware of one subtle danger, the temptation to test the law with impatience. Some will affirm for 1 day and then peer anxiously into their circumstances, demanding instant proof. This is like planting a seed and then digging it up to see if it has sprouted. The act of doubt uproots the work. Your task is not to peer and prod, but to plant and trust. For 3 days, speak your words and release them, confident that the unseen processes of the subconscious and the infinite are already at work. If you look and see nothing, rejoice, for the work is being done beneath the surface. Do not measure the power of your affirmation by immediate appearances. Measure it by the certainty of divine law. What is impressed is expressed, and the expression may come suddenly or slowly, but it must come. Let me remind you of a story that bears witness to this truth. A woman plagued by resentment developed a physical lesion. Doctors could not heal it, but when she forgave, when she affirmed love and help, the lesion vanished. The words dissolved the pattern of hate within her subconscious, and the body, obedient to the new command, restored itself. This is not superstition, but law. The subconscious governs both body and circumstance, and when impressed with truth, it heals, harmonizes, and opens doors. If resentment can close a door in the body itself, forgiveness and affirmation can open doors in the world. So for these 3 days, let no bitterness remain unchallenged. If old wounds arise, meet them not with anger, but with your affirmation. Replace the sting of memory with the strength of your decree. The law works not only for you, but through you. As you affirm wealth and wisdom, you become a channel of abundance and insight for others. Doors open not only for your advancement, but for the good you can bring into the lives of those around you. This is divine order. As you rise, you lift others. As you walk through new doors, you make way for those who follow. Never think that your practice is selfish. The light you kindle in your subconscious becomes a beacon for others in darkness. So let your affirmation be charged not only with desire, but with goodwill. Say within yourself, I am one with wealth and wisdom, and as I rise, I bless others with the overflow. For the infinite does not bless one at the expense of another. It multiplies, it expands, it enriches all who align with its flow. So again I ask you, in this very moment, whisper the words and feel them vibrate in your chest. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Let them settle deep. Let them take root in silence. For 3 days, hold fast, and you will watch as life itself bends to honor the law you have chosen to live by. For what is impressed will be expressed, and what is decreed in faith must appear in form. The subconscious mind is always listening, always absorbing, always carrying out the orders it is given. It does not sleep, it does not question, it does not delay. Even as your conscious mind rests, even as your body lies in slumber, the subconscious is working ceaselessly on the instructions it has received. That is why the final words you speak at night are of such great importance. For in that twilight state between waking and sleep, the gate of the subconscious is open wide, receptive and unguarded. If you fall asleep murmuring words of fear, the subconscious will accept them and magnify them. But if you fall asleep affirming, I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts, then through the silent hours of the night your deeper mind will labor to bring this truth into expression. Each morning you will awaken a little stronger, a little freer, a little more attuned to the rhythm of abundance that surrounds you. Understand that your subconscious is not bound by the limitations your conscious mind imagines. It does not know barriers of time, distance, or circumstance. It knows only the law. What is impressed is expressed. You may not see how a path could open, but your subconscious is not limited to the narrow corridors of your reasoning. It is connected to infinite intelligence, and that intelligence knows the shortest, swiftest, most harmonious route to your good. When you affirm wealth and wisdom, you are not asking your intellect to figure it out. You are entrusting the infinite to arrange it in ways you cannot foresee. And often the manifestation comes through channels you would never have considered, with precision and ease that seem miraculous to the rational mind. Yet to the law, it is simple, natural, inevitable. Do not therefore be concerned with how the doors will open. Your task is only to speak, to believe, and to remain faithful to the words you have chosen. If you speak them with conviction for 3 days, you will have imprinted them deeply enough to set forces in motion that continue long after the 3 days have passed. The seed does not stop growing simply because the sower has walked away from the field. The subconscious continues to nurture what it has received, and in due time the harvest comes. This is why it is said, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your affirmation is the evidence, your feeling is the substance, the manifestation is but the natural result. You may wonder why 3 days is enough to begin this transformation. It is because intensity, not duration, impresses the subconscious. A single statement charged with conviction can outweigh months of idle chatter. When you concentrate your faith into a brief but focused period, you create an imprint deep enough to alter the pattern of your mind. 3 days of unwavering affirmation plants a seed so firmly that even if you falter afterward, the subconscious continues its work. Think of it as striking a bell with great force. The sound reverberates long after the strike. Your words are the strike. The subconscious carries the reverberation into your life. Let me share with you a picture. Imagine a vast crew aboard a great ship. The captain stands on the deck and issues commands. The crew does not question, they simply obey. If the captain says, "Sail into storm," they obey, though disaster follows. If the captain says, "Set course for calm waters," they obey and safety results. Your conscious mind is that captain. Your subconscious is the crew. For 3 days you must take the wheel and give only wise commands. Do not leave the ship drifting on old orders, for it will crash upon the rocks of past beliefs. Seize the wheel, speak your affirmation, and set the course toward wealth, wisdom, and freedom from fear. The crew will obey, the ship will turn, the journey will change. Think of the subconscious as a loyal servant who never rests. It does not evaluate whether the command is wise or foolish. It simply obeys. If you say, "I am unworthy," it accepts and arranges your life accordingly. If you say, "I am one with wealth and wisdom," it likewise accepts and organizes circumstances to reflect that decree. The servant does not choose, the master chooses, and you, through your conscious choice of words, are the master. Do not abdicate this power to old habits of speech, to careless mutterings of lack and fear. Speak deliberately, speak with authority. Let your words be the commands of a sovereign to his realm, and the subconscious, faithful and unquestioning, will carry them out to the letter. You will also notice resistance from the old patterns. Doubts may arise, mocking your practice. Memories of failure may surface, whispering, "This cannot work." Recognize these for what they are. The remnants of the old order, the weeds struggling against the new growth. Do not fear them. Do not dwell on them. Simply return to your words. Say again with calm authority, "I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts." Each time you do, the old patterns lose power, and the new decree gains strength. This is the battle for the soil of your subconscious, and each affirmation is a victory. During these days, notice how your awareness begins to shift. Situations that once seemed threatening appear less intimidating. Ideas arise unbidden, guiding you toward solutions. You feel nudged to make a call, to visit a place, to take an action, and when you follow, you discover that the door is waiting open. This is not coincidence. It is the law unfolding, the subconscious arranging, infinite intelligence guiding. Trust these nudges. Act upon them with courage. They are the signs that your affirmation has taken root and begun to bear fruit. The law is absolute. What is impressed is expressed. Therefore, impress only that which you desire. Do not plant weeds and expect roses. Do not affirm lack and expect abundance. Choose your words as carefully as a jeweler selects precious stones. For 3 days, guard your speech as a sacred trust. Every time you utter your affirmation, you are shaping your destiny, engraving upon the tablet of your subconscious a command that must be fulfilled. And as surely as the dawn follows the night, the fulfillment will come. So once more, let us speak together. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Say it not as a beggar pleading for alms, but as a king declaring his dominion. Say it with quiet certainty, with inner conviction, with the authority of one who knows the law. For the law of life is the law of belief. And what you believe you shall see. What you impress you shall express. What you decree you shall demonstrate. Hold these words for 3 days, and watch as doors open that no man can shut. There is a secret rhythm to life, a harmony that few ever learn to hear. Yet it is present in every breath, every heartbeat, every unfolding circumstance. That rhythm is the law of cause and effect, the law that whatever you impress upon your inner world is echoed back in the outer. Most live deaf to this rhythm, stumbling in dissonance, declaring lack and meeting poverty, speaking fear and meeting danger, affirming failure and meeting disappointment. But when you learn to bring your words into harmony with the divine law, when you speak affirmations of truth, abundance and wisdom, the whole orchestra of life begins to shift its tune. For 3 days you have set yourself to this practice, and already the first notes of the new symphony begin to play. The question is not whether the law will respond, but whether you will persist long enough to hear the music in full. You must understand that persistence is the key. The subconscious mind is like clay, soft and yielding, yet it takes the impression only when pressure is applied with consistency. A casual touch leaves no mark, but a steady press engraves a permanent pattern. For 3 days you are applying that steady press, shaping the clay of your inner world with the tools of words and belief. Each repetition of I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts, deepens the groove, carves the pathway, establishes the pattern. And once the pattern is set, the subconscious will reproduce it again and again, just as clay once molded will continue to bear the form of its mold. Do not underestimate the quiet power of persistence. It is not the loud shout, but the steady whisper that moves mountains. Life will test your persistence. It will whisper through old habits. Skip today, forget the words. They are just syllables, but you must remember that this is no empty ritual. These words are the blueprint of your tomorrow. If you neglect them, you abandon your design and revert to the chaos of old impressions. But if you persist, if you guard these words as a lamp against the night, you will find the darkness retreating before you. Doors will open not because of chance, but because you have held firm to the decree that they must. Each time you repeat the affirmation in the face of doubt, you are proving to your subconscious that the old order is finished and the new command is supreme. Do not fear when nothing seems to change on the surface. The seed planted does not sprout overnight, yet the germination is happening in silence. Beneath the soil, unseen forces are at work. Roots stretch, cells divide, life stirs. So too, beneath the surface of your circumstances, the subconscious is at work, arranging, aligning, preparing. Do not disturb the process with impatience. Simply water it with repetition, warm it with feeling, shield it with faith. The harvest will appear, and it will appear in divine order, not according to your anxious timetable, but according to the perfect rhythm of the infinite. Faith is trusting the unseen growth. Faith is resting in the certainty that what is impressed is already on its way to expression. Think of the many examples of those who lived by this law. Emerson, who overcame tuberculosis by dwelling in the beauty of nature and speaking words of health. Caruso, who silenced his stage fright by commanding his subconscious to express the voice of God within him. Patience, who rose from despair not through medicine alone, but through affirmations of divine order, laughter, and peace. These are not fairy tales, but demonstrations of the law. The words they spoke were not idle, they were seeds, and the harvest came. If such power can heal the body, why should it not also open doors of opportunity, of provision, of wisdom? The law is one, and it applies to every sphere of life. For 3 days you are aligning with that law deliberately, consciously, reverently. And as you do, you will feel changes not only in your circumstances, but in your very being. Your posture shifts. Your gaze steadies. Your voice carries new weight. This is because the subconscious, once impressed, begins to reshape not only your world, but your character. You begin to embody the wealth and wisdom you have declared. You begin to walk as one who is free of fear and doubt. And when you embody it, the world cannot help but reflect it. People respond to the vibration you carry. Opportunities gravitate to the magnet you have become. The law works not in abstraction, but in concrete demonstration. Let us go deeper still. The words you speak are more than affirmations. They are prayers. True prayer is not pleading with an external deity, but aligning the conscious and subconscious in harmony with divine law. When you affirm with feeling, you are praying scientifically. You are impressing the subconscious with the truth you desire to see, and the subconscious, connected to infinite intelligence, begins to arrange the demonstration. Prayer is not asking, it is claiming. It is not begging, it is affirming. When you say, I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts, you are praying the most powerful of prayers, a declaration of identity with the infinite, and that prayer cannot return void. You may notice during these days that your dreams begin to shift, your inner imagery becoming brighter, freer, more expansive. This is the subconscious processing your affirmations, weaving them into its patterns, dissolving old shadows and planting new light. Pay attention to these dreams. They are signs that the work is underway. Do not fear strange images that may arise. They are the subconscious cleansing itself of old residues. Simply return each morning to your affirmation, and the process will continue with greater clarity. The time will come when the words no longer feel like an external command, but an inner truth. At first you speak them with effort, pushing against the inertia of old patterns, but as you persist they begin to feel natural, effortless, self-evident. You realize that you are not trying to become wealthy and wise. You already are in essence. You are not struggling to banish fear. You are simply living from the truth that fear and doubt have no part in your being. When that realization dawns, the words are no longer seeds, they are blossoms, and the fruit is already on the branch. So I say to you again, as if engraving it upon the tablets of your soul, I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Say it with me. Write it on the page before you. Whisper it as you rise, repeat it as you rest. For these 3 days let it be your covenant, your compass, your song. The law cannot fail you. The doors cannot remain shut. For you have spoken, you have impressed, you have believed. And what is impressed must be expressed, for such is the decree of life itself. Every thought you allow, every word you speak is a command etched into the fabric of your subconscious mind. And the world you see is nothing but the echo of those commands. This is why people find themselves caught in cycles they cannot explain. Cycles of lack, of failure, of repeating disappointment. They change their jobs, they change their homes, they change their companions, yet the same pattern returns because they have not changed the decree within. But you are not repeating the same cycle, for you have chosen to speak new words for 3 days, words that cut through the old order like a sword, words that engrave a new destiny upon the stone of your subconscious. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. That decree is not weak, it is not tentative, it is sovereign, and the subconscious obeys sovereignty without delay. The subconscious is like a vast reservoir, and the words you speak are the streams that flow into it. Speak of fear, and you pollute the waters. Speak of doubt, and the stream runs murky. Speak of harmony, wealth, and wisdom, and you clear the reservoir until it sparkles with divine light. And from that reservoir flows the river of your life, watering the fields of your circumstances, filling the cups of your encounters. For 3 days you are cleansing the reservoir, purifying its flow, redirecting its current, and soon the river itself will shift its course, bringing you into valleys of abundance and mountains of wisdom you could not have reached before. This is the power of repetition. This is the power of belief spoken aloud. It is essential that you do not merely speak these words with your lips, but feel them with your whole being. When you declare that you are one with wealth and wisdom, you must imagine the feeling of being secure, being free, being guided. Imagine yourself walking into a room with calm assurance, speaking with clarity, acting without hesitation. Imagine the weight of fear lifted, the chain of doubt broken, the path ahead clear. Let the images form as you speak, for the subconscious accepts feeling more swiftly than sound. A word spoken without emotion is like a seed cast on stone, but a word spoken with feeling is like a seed planted in fertile soil. For 3 days, let your words be soaked in emotion, and the harvest will be inevitable. Some will ask, what if my mind wanders? What if doubt intrudes? The answer is simple: return. Return to your affirmation again and again. Do not wrestle with the doubt, for that only gives it strength. Speak over it. Affirm again. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Each return is a victory, each repetition a reinforcement, each declaration another stroke of the sculptor's chisel shaping the stone of your destiny. Do not despise the battle, for it is proof that transformation is underway. The old patterns resist because they know their reign is ending. Persist and they crumble. Persist and the new law is enthroned. The law of belief is impartial, like the law of gravity. It does not judge the worthiness of your words. It simply brings them into form. If you declare weakness, it manifests weakness. If you declare strength, it manifests strength. This is why Jesus said, "It is done unto you as you believe." Not as you wish, not as you hope, but as you believe. For belief is the union of word and feeling, thought and expectation. For 3 days you are weaving this union, and the tapestry will soon be visible. Do not underestimate the simplicity of this. The greatest truths are often the simplest, and the most powerful practices are the ones most easily overlooked. To speak words of truth with feeling for 3 days may seem small, but it is small only in effort. In effect, it is immense, for it alters the very foundation of your being. You may feel the stirrings of change already. Perhaps a heaviness has lifted, perhaps a new energy pulses through you, perhaps an idea has risen unbidden to your mind. These are signs that the law is working. Do not dismiss them. Treasure them as the first blossoms of spring, proof that the soil is alive and the seed has taken root. More will come, greater will follow, but honor the small beginnings, for they are the whispers of infinite intelligence, assuring you that the process is underway. Trust the whispers, follow the nudges, act upon the guidance, for as you affirm, the infinite moves, arranging circumstances, aligning opportunities, opening doors you could not have forced open by strength alone. Understand that wealth and wisdom are not distant prizes you must chase, but states of being already present within you. The affirmation does not import them from afar, it awakens them from within. The river of abundance already flows in your subconscious. The affirmation clears the dam of fear and doubt so that it may rush forth. The flame of wisdom already burns in the temple of your spirit. The affirmation fans it into brilliance. For 3 days you are not creating something foreign, but releasing what has always been yours. This is why the affirmation feels so powerful, because deep down you know it to be true. You are simply reminding yourself of your divine inheritance. Let me speak to you with urgency. Guard your words beyond these 3 days as you would guard a treasure. Do not finish a negative sentence. Do not speak of what you do not wish to see. If a word of fear slips out, reverse it at once. Declare its opposite with conviction. I am not weak, I am strong through the infinite within me. I am not poor, I am a channel of divine abundance. I am not lost, I am guided by infinite wisdom. In this way you train the tongue to serve truth and the subconscious to serve life. For the tongue is the rudder of the ship, small yet powerful, and if you set it rightly, it will steer you into safe harbors of prosperity and peace. So let us seal this moment together. Whisper now, not as one who begs, but as one who commands. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Feel it vibrate through your chest. Let it resonate in your mind. Let it engrave itself upon your heart. For 3 days you have chosen to live as a master of your words, and soon the world itself will bow to the law you have obeyed. The doors are opening, the path is clearing, the harvest is certain. For what is impressed is expressed, and the word you have spoken shall not return void. Every age of man has sought the secret to power, the key to turning unseen dreams into visible reality. And the truth has always been the same. The word spoken with belief is the word that creates. Kings have built empires with decrees. Sages have healed bodies with prayers. Visionaries have drawn nations forward with affirmations of destiny. The principle never changes. The subconscious mind, infinite in its reach, accepts the command impressed upon it and manifests accordingly. For 3 days you have walked in this secret, speaking words that align you with divine law. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. These are not casual words. They are a covenant, a declaration, a spiritual decree that has already begun to shape your life into harmony with itself. Now you must understand the permanence of this work. The 3 days were not a ritual to be discarded when finished, but a foundation upon which to build the rest of your days. Just as a seed once planted continues to grow, so too will the words you have spoken continue to reverberate in your subconscious, shaping your destiny long after the 3 days have passed. The key is to maintain the soil, to keep it fertile with gratitude, peace, and expectancy. Do not uproot what you have planted with carelessness. Do not contradict your decree with idle chatter of lack and defeat. Speak only words that align with the truth you have already claimed, and the harvest will continue to multiply. The doors you sought are already moving. Some will open suddenly, like gates swinging wide at your command. Others will open quietly, so seamlessly you scarcely notice until you find yourself standing in a place of opportunity you once thought beyond your reach. Do not measure by appearances alone. Trust the process, for infinite intelligence knows the exact timing and order of every unfolding. A job offer, a conversation, a new connection, a sudden idea. All of these are doors, and all of them will appear in divine order. Be alert, be receptive, be ready to step through without hesitation. The law will do its work, but you must be willing to act when the door stands open. Faith without action is incomplete, for the subconscious arranges the opportunity, but your conscious must walk through it. Guard against the temptation to think small once the first door opens. The law does not stop at one blessing. It is infinite in supply, boundless in generosity, inexhaustible in creativity. One door leads to another. One opportunity multiplies into many. One act of wisdom begets greater wisdom. Do not shrink back into old patterns of fear. Do not say, "This is enough, I should not ask for more." Such thinking belongs to the mind of limitation, not to the mind aligned with infinite abundance. You are not stealing from the universe. You are participating in its endless flow. The more you receive, the more you can give, the more you can bless others, the more you can glorify the source from which all blessings flow. You will notice also that wisdom itself begins to move through you in ways you did not expect. Situations that once confused you become clear. Choices that once felt heavy become light. Conversations flow with insight. You begin to carry within you a quiet authority, a presence that others can feel. This is not arrogance, but alignment. It is the wisdom of the infinite expressing through your subconscious, shaping your decisions, guiding your steps. Trust this wisdom. Listen to it. It will not shout but whisper, and the whisper will always be in harmony with truth, with love, with order. Follow it, and you will find that every path becomes straight before you. The 3 days of affirmation were the spark, but the flame must now be tended. Continue to speak the words. Continue to affirm with feeling. Continue to write them, to whisper them as you drift into sleep, to declare them when doubt stirs. Make them the rhythm of your life, not just the practice of a moment. And as you do, you will find that the subconscious itself becomes trained, like a loyal servant who no longer needs constant instruction because it has absorbed the master's will. Soon, even when you are silent, it will continue to carry out the command, arranging your life according to the decree of wealth, wisdom, and freedom. Remember also that the law of life is the law of belief, and belief grows stronger when shared. Speak words of encouragement to others. Affirm their strength, their abundance, their wisdom. In doing so, you reinforce your own belief, for the subconscious does not distinguish between what you declare for yourself and what you declare for another. Every blessing you speak circles back to you multiplied. Become a channel of affirmation in your world, and you will find that the doors opening for you also open for others, creating a chain of blessing that extends far beyond your sight. And so I leave you with this. The power is already within you. You do not need to beg. You do not need to wait. You do not need to fear. You need only to believe, to affirm, to persist. For 3 days you have proven the law. Now live by it. Carry the words with you as your armor, your compass, your crown. Whisper them even now, one last time in this sacred space. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Let it resound in your heart. Let it vibrate through your soul. For what you have impressed is already expressing. What you have declared is already unfolding, and the doors are already opening before you. Walk through them with courage. Walk through them with gratitude. Walk through them knowing that infinite intelligence goes before you, making straight the way, and that nothing can stand against the decree you have written in the depths of your being. There are words that change everything, words that open doors you once thought sealed, words that carry the vibration of life itself. For 3 days, if you take these words into your heart, speak them with conviction, and impress them upon your subconscious mind, you will begin to see shifts that no human logic can explain. Why? Because the law of life is the law of belief. Your subconscious does not argue. It accepts as true the feeling you plant within it, and once planted, it brings forth fruit after its kind. Imagine a farmer scattering seeds into the soil. The earth does not question if the seed is noble or vile. It brings forth according to what is sown. Likewise, your subconscious is the silent soil of your destiny, and every affirmation you speak with feeling is a seed that must germinate in the hidden chambers of your mind until it bursts forth into your lived experience. Consider this. How often have you spoken words of defeat, even without realizing it? How often have you declared with a sigh, I can't afford it, or it's not possible for me? Each utterance is a command to your subconscious, and because it cannot discern truth from falsehood, it simply accepts the order and begins to shape your circumstances to match that belief. But when you reverse this process, when you consciously choose to speak words aligned with divine truth, words charged with expectancy, words that affirm harmony, health, success, and abundance, you reverse the tide. You set in motion a chain of events that begin within and echo outward into every corner of your life. You become, quite literally, the captain who commands the ship of your destiny, and your subconscious becomes the faithful crew who carries out every command. The words I am asking you to use for 3 days are not ordinary words. They are words that have been uttered by mystics, poets, and sages across centuries. They carry the law of belief wrapped in the mantle of divine authority. Speak them as if you were breathing life itself into your future. When you declare, I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubt, you are not begging, you are not wishing, you are commanding. You are impressing the subconscious with a decree that must be honored, for it is written, what is impressed is expressed. These words will work for you if you let them sink beyond the surface chatter of the intellect into that deeper realm where belief is formed and destiny is written. For 3 days, do not merely say them mechanically. Feel them, imagine them, see the doors opening in your mind as you say them. Let each repetition be an act of creation. I have seen this law demonstrated in every walk of life. A man bedridden with despair, repeating daily that the rejuvenating power of God flowed through him like a golden river, rose from weakness into vitality. A young woman who once muttered only words of loneliness began to affirm, divine love fills my heart, attracting to me harmony, joy, and companionship, and soon her life blossomed into love and community. An engineer overwhelmed by obstacles began each morning with words of order and guidance, and projects that once faltered fell into alignment with remarkable ease. What made the difference? Not chance, not luck, but words, Spoken words charged with faith, words that impressed the subconscious and turned invisible patterns into visible reality. There is an invisible ingredient to this practice: inner peace. You cannot plant seeds in agitated soil and expect them to take root. For these 3 days, approach your affirmations not in a state of strain, but in a state of calm expectancy. Laughter, gratitude, quiet moments of reflection. These clear the soil of resentment and worry, making it fertile for the seeds of your new words. As you speak, let joy accompany the affirmation. Remember this: joy is the sound of faith already celebrating. When you feel joy as you speak your word, you are telling your subconscious it is already done. And the subconscious, obedient as it is, goes to work to make it so. The subconscious is like a faithful servant who hears only the tone of your command. If you order with trembling and hesitation, it carries out the command in weakness. But if you speak with the quiet certainty of one who knows that infinite intelligence backs every word, then your subconscious executes that decree with precision and power. That is why for 3 days, every time doubt creeps in, every time fear attempts to whisper, you must return to your words. Do not argue with doubt. Do not wrestle with fear. Simply override them with the affirmation you have chosen. Say it aloud, write it, let it echo in your heart, until it is the only voice that speaks within you. In sacred scripture it is written, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Notice it does not say as a man casually thinks in his head, but in his heart, the subconscious, the seat of belief. For 3 days, let these words be planted in that deeper soil. Write them upon paper, and as you do, let the act of writing engrave them more deeply upon the inner tablets of your being. Read them morning and night, when the mind is most receptive, when the gates of the subconscious are open and impression is easiest. As you drift into sleep, let these words be the last seed planted, so that as your body rests, the subconscious works tirelessly to bring forth their expression. You must remember that life itself mirrors your inner state. The people, the opportunities, the obstacles, the doors. Every one of them is but a reflection of the patterns you carry within. If the inner pattern is one of defeat, doors close. If the inner pattern is one of harmony, doors open. Change the pattern within, and you will see the outer reflection adjust like the shifting of a mirror. For 3 days, your task is not to beg the mirror to change, but to alter the face you present to it. The affirmation, repeated with feeling, is the act of painting a new image upon the mirror of your subconscious, and the outer world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. Some will say, "Is it truly that simple?" And I tell you, yes it is. It is simple, though not always easy, for the mind is often restless and prone to wander. But for 3 days, if you set your intention firmly, if you choose not to deviate, if you return again and again to your words, you will have impressed a new command upon your subconscious. And once impressed, it must be expressed. The law of belief is not a sometimes law, it is as constant as gravity. The words you speak with conviction will mold your tomorrow, as surely as the seeds planted today become the harvest of tomorrow. So I ask you now, take these words into your heart. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Say them aloud. Whisper them in silence. Write them down. Let them echo in the stillness of your nights and in the rising of your mornings. For 3 days, guard them as a treasure. Carry them as a torch, and watch as the unseen doors begin to swing wide before you. Do not strain, do not force, simply affirm and believe. The power is not in struggle, but in alignment. For what is impressed will be expressed, and what you decree within will be established without. The words you have spoken are not mere sounds that vanish into the air. They are vibrations that echo into the very fabric of your being. When you declare, "I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts," you are not simply reciting a sentence, you are striking a chord in the hidden depths of the subconscious, and that chord continues to resonate long after the words have left your lips. The subconscious is like the deep ocean, unseen yet powerful, and your affirmations are stones cast into its waters, sending ripples outward until they touch every shore of your existence. Every action you take, every encounter you have, every opportunity that arises, they all begin to align with the new vibration you have set in motion. This is the mystery of the law of belief. What you impress, you express. What you decree inwardly, you demonstrate outwardly. If for 3 days you remain faithful to these words, you will begin to notice subtle changes, shifts so small at first that the ordinary mind might dismiss them. A conversation opens where there was silence. A message arrives unexpectedly. A stranger extends a kindness that sets into motion a chain of events. Do not overlook these beginnings. The great oak was once a seed, hidden and unseen, yet carrying within it the form of its destiny. Likewise, your affirmation is the seed of a new life, and it begins to break the soil in ways that may appear small but are in truth the heralds of greater manifestations to come. You may feel a sudden sense of calm, a release of a burden you carried without knowing. This too is a door opening, the door of inner harmony, and when that door opens, the outer ones will follow. Remember that your subconscious mind does not resist or delay when given clear orders. The only resistance it knows is the contradiction you impose through fear, doubt, and resentment. For these 3 days, I ask you to practice the art of non-resistance. When old thoughts arise, thoughts of lack, thoughts of fear, do not wrestle with them, for to wrestle is to give them power. Simply withdraw your attention and return to your affirmation. Declare again with quiet confidence, I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Let these words be your refuge, your fortress, your shield. They dissolve everything unlike themselves, for light does not argue with darkness. It simply shines, and the darkness vanishes. The mind is a garden, and for 3 days you are the gardener on sacred duty. Every affirmation is a seed you plant, and every doubt is a weed you must refuse to water. Do not think you must rid the garden of all weeds at once. Simply continue planting, continue affirming, and soon the strength of the new growth will overtake the old. Imagine yourself standing in that garden, speaking these words as you scatter seed after seed into the fertile soil of your subconscious. Each word is a golden seed, each repetition a watering, each feeling of faith a ray of sunlight. And the harvest will come as surely as day follows night, for the law cannot fail. What you sow, you shall reap. You are not alone in this practice, for when you affirm, you align with infinite diligence, that presence which has fashioned galaxies and woven the fabric of life itself. Do you think it difficult for this infinite to open doors for you, to arrange circumstances, to move through people, to bring forth opportunities? No, the difficulty lies only in the divided mind, the mind that speaks faith in the morning but cancels it with fear by evening. For 3 days let there be no division. Let your mind be single, your words consistent, your beliefs steady. You will feel a current beneath your affirmations, a strength not your own, as if the very river of life has begun to carry you. Trust that current. Flow with it. As you practice this, observe how your body responds. Notice how tension begins to dissolve, how a sense of vitality arises as if a golden river were flowing through every cell. This is no illusion, for the body itself is shaped and governed by the subconscious. Speak words of harmony, and your body becomes the dwelling of harmony. Speak words of wealth, and your posture, your decisions, your energy begin to reflect abundance. Every cell listens. Every nerve responds, every organ obeys. Just as the subconscious builds and heals the body without your conscious effort, so too it builds the circumstances of your life when directed by affirmations of truth. It is crucial to remember that the words you use must be felt, not merely spoken. Mechanical repetition will yield little. It is the emotion, the belief, the expectancy that engraves the words upon the subconscious. Therefore, when you affirm, pause and imagine. See the door opening before you. Feel the freedom of walking through it. Taste the sweetness of the opportunity realized. Let the affirmation become alive with sensation, for the subconscious is moved not by hollow syllables but by living pictures charged with feeling. When words and feelings unite, creation begins. There is no need to force results, for force belongs to the realm of fear. Instead, cultivate expectancy. Expectancy is faith in motion, the quiet knowing that what you have affirmed is already moving into form. Just as a woman who plants a seed in her garden expects to see sprouts without digging up the soil each day, so must you affirm and release, affirm and trust. For 3 days, plant the seed and let it grow. Do not disturb it with anxious questions of when or how. That is not your work. Your work is to speak, to feel, to believe. The infinite intelligence will arrange the rest. Think of this time as a sacred covenant you are making with yourself. For 3 days you set aside the old words of defeat and limitation, and you consecrate your speech to truth. Every time you affirm, you renew this covenant, you seal it deeper into your being. Let it be done with reverence, with a sense of partnership with the divine. Say to yourself, these words are life to me. They are spirit, they are truth, and they shall not return void. As Scripture declares, the word goes forth and accomplishes that for which it is sent. Your affirmation is not powerless. It is armed with the authority of divine law. So let us continue together. Whispered in your heart now, I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubts. Do you feel it? Do you sense the weight of the old chains loosening as you declare it? You see even faintly the image of new doors opening before you. Hold that feeling. For 3 days, let it be the rhythm of your breath.